Love at first sight. It sounds so romantic, right? Guy comes in, sweeps you off your feet. He's head over heels from the moment he sees you. It all sounds well and good, right? But sometimes there could be a dark reason behind why a guy is giving you so much love and attention from out the gate. Stick around because today I want to talk to you about love bombing. Hi, my name is Yonci. Welcome to my channel, Chasing Yonci, where I talk about all things love, dating, sex, and relationships. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, click that notification bell after you subscribe. That way you can be notified every time I drop new content. On Monday nights, I go live at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and 8 o'clock Eastern, so set your calendar so you can join me live. All right, well, let's get into today's topic. I'm going to be talking about 8 signs that he could be love bombing you. Now, I want to give a disclaimer before I get started that every time a guy shows love and affection and showers you with attention does not guarantee that he has malicious intent. Go with your intuition, that little feeling in your gut, because it will steer you in the right direction. So let's start out with number 1, lavishing you with gifts. Now remember, the goal of love bombing is to get you off your feet, not in a good way, not the sweeping you off of your feet that we like to romance about or romanticize about. But this is more like a shiny thing. Hey, look over here, so you don't notice what I'm doing over here. So if you're receiving gifts from a guy, be very careful if they are over the top. It's one thing for a guy to buy you coffee or take you out to eat, but for him to offer to pay for your rent, to take you on an expensive trip, a lot of times there's a string attached and he's hoping to cash in later. Watch out, because guys like this can use it to try to guilt trip you down the road. Hey, well, I did this for you, because they're looking to cash in for a favor. So if it feels like it's a little bit too much, don't be afraid to say no. A genuine guy will stick around and he won't be offended. Number 2, over-the-top compliments that just don't stop. You ever had a guy who met you and he's just gushing and gushing and gushing? One of my love languages is words of affirmation, so I like compliments just as much as the next woman. But it's always a red flag for me when a guy doesn't know me and he's making these huge expressions of how he feels. You're amazing. I couldn't live without you. I need you. I want you. I can't stop thinking about you. You're the one for me. You're gonna be my wife. Again, a sincere guy could say this, but if a guy is laying it on a bit too thick, chances are he's doing it for a reason. So keep an eye open and don't be so excited to accept this compliment, because after all, what does the guy know about you? And if he doesn't know anything more than what you look like, is it really love? Or is it just lust? Hopefully not something else more sinister. Number 3, the next sign on the list, is bombarding you with calls and text. In a healthy relationships, things slowly progress. And usually I'm having to tell the women, slow down, don't be in such a rush to get to the next step. It's very, very unusual for a guy to be just bombarding you with calls and texts. This could be a sign of something a little bit off. A lot of times these guys are super territorial and they're trying to make sure you don't have time for anything else. So notice if he sends you an unusual amount of texts and calls, especially if he's demanding you to respond right away. Also take notice if he's not respectful of your time as far as when he texts you. If he's texting you super early in the morning or really late at night, that's a sign of disrespect. A guy who genuinely cares about you is going to want to make sure you're getting uninterrupted sleep, and he'll make sure he's texting you during a reasonable time. Number 4, he will want your undivided attention. Now, it's cute for someone to want your time and pretend to be jealous of your time with other people, but when you can tell he's serious, this is a major red flag. When this person doesn't have your focus, he's going to get very agitated. It could be because you're talking with friends. It could be that you have a work obligation. It doesn't matter the reason. If it's taking away his time from you that he thinks he deserves, he's going to be very irritated. This is a huge red flag, and you should be very, very alarmed if someone is wanting an unrealistic amount of your time. In a healthy relationship, there are boundaries. They are respected and adhered to. Anytime someone is being very pushy and it makes you uncomfortable, take that into consideration. That's a big deal. Number 5, he will try to convince you that you are soulmates. He will constantly be talking about how you're destined to be together. This is supposed to happen. It's fate. Now that might sound romantic, but relationships are built over time. It's built through trust, emotional connection, shared goals, shared values. It's not just something that someone can come in and just declare that you guys are meant to be together. This is a two-way street. And as much as it feels great to have a guy showering you with all this positivity, you still need to decide for yourself if he has the qualities that you're looking for in a mate. And this takes time. Number 6, they are trying to rush into a commitment. Now, typically we hear women complaining that men are taking too long to get serious, but in the case of a love bomber, he is going to want to lock things down and lock it down quickly. Usually when someone is love bombing, it's because they can't keep up the charade for long, and so they want to hurry up and get the woman committed before the other shoe drops, before the skeletons are revealed in his closet. There's a reason why he's really chomping at the bit, and so be aware. Don't enter into any binding agreements. Don't commit to anything like having him on your lease or moving in with him. Don't make any big decisions if it's only been a matter of days and weeks. Now, I've heard of people proposing very early on, and there are relationships that last, but again, these are signs that you should be looking at coupled with other things. So if you're starting to see a bunch of things on the list, and again, a lot of this is him pushing onto you and trying to convince you. This isn't both of you feeling like you're in the same space, both of you co-signing, both of you feeling like this is right. This is him trying to come in and just shower you and overwhelm you with everything that he's bringing to the table. So if you feel like he is giving you ultimatums, he's trying to guilt trip you, he's trying to pressure you, definitely something that you should take note of. Talk to a friend, somebody who's not emotionally invested in the guy, and see what they have to say. Number 7, they get upset when you give them boundaries. In a normal relationship, in a healthy relationship, both partners will express what they're comfortable with and not comfortable with. And normally the other partner takes note and then respects their boundaries. When someone is trying to manipulate you and control you and coerce you into something you don't want to do, they don't take kindly to you telling them what you want and don't want. So if you tell a guy you want to slow down in any capacity, it could be you don't want to get physical. It could be you don't want to spend so much time together. It could be you don't want to talk as often. Whatever it is, a guy who truly is interested in winning your heart will respect your boundaries. In a healthy relationship, a man would never, ever want you to feel rushed, pressured, or forced. So take note if this is happening. If he's not respecting your boundaries, I say run for the hills. Last but not least, they are overly needy. Again, this is a very selfish and self-centered person. So their focus is going to be on me. What do I need from her? No matter what you give them, it will never be enough. And you're going to start to do things out of obligation. So think about the last couple of things you did with this guy. Did you do it because you wanted to, or did you feel obligated? Were you worried that he would switch up his energy, maybe give you the silent treatment or take away something that he promised to do? There should not be any manipulation. Both partners should always be willing participants when it comes to a relationship. All right, I hope these tips on love bombing were helpful. If you've ever been love bombed, I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments so we can hear what happened to you. I hope that you guys are all safe and well. And before I go, I want to tell you about my online community. It is finally up and ready to go. You can find it on my website, chasingyonci.com. Just look under community and you will find us there. You can set up your profile, meet new people, and learn a lot about them in the forum where we discuss all things love, dating, sex, and relationships. Take a look on my page, learn more about it. Now, please don't forget, if you haven't done so already, like this video if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop new content. Until next time, tell someone that you love them.